Good morning, ladies and gents, and welcome to OG Star Wars channel. And this is OG coming to you with Coffee Chat. And we have my co-pilot here, which I'm always happy to have, and the Mr. Kenobi, Stig Kenobi, who hates to fly. Hello, Stig.
Hi, I'm
Hello. Doing?
quite well, and it seems like StreamYard's about to crash. So
Uh-oh.
if I vanish for a bit, that's it.
Uh-oh. Why? What's going on your end?
It's just loading and loading.
Okay, well,
I
if you need
think
to reload and jump back on, that's fine.
no, it still works.
Okay, awesome.
It
All
it
right.
tends to happen when people play videos in StreamYards.
Mm-hmm.
It's I think it uses a hell of a lot of memory
Uh-huh.
or something. So yeah.
Okay, well, I wish you the best. I wish you the best. So we are here and we are going to continue to talk about the comics that are within the Clone Wars era of Star Wars. And we are going to be doing, reading Aayla Secura comic, and then Dooku's comic, which also has Quinlan Voss. And if you follow me on Twitter, I did post something about Quinlan Voss and one of his I guess you say girlfriends, if you want to say that, or confidants or whatever on there. So if you see me on Twitter or if you've seen it on Twitter, then you know what I'm talking about. So I'm excited to get and roll along with these comics, especially, since I am finishing up the semester of college, which I'm very excited about. So we do have a few people trickling in, and I am so happy that you guys are here. So we have Razvan here. Thank you so much for coming in. And he's been hanging out for a while. And he's like, hey, let's go. And is Stig Kenobi as the same as Stig Katarn? And
Oh
that's
yeah,
the
on
mystery.
Twitter, yes.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what happened. I commented on, according to Christie's tweet, she had made like a little jab at some stupid TV show about some feminists or whatever surviving in the wilderness, and I left a comment saying those skanky hoes would never survive anything without their cell phones. And my Twitter account got suspended over that because they felt that was inciting violence. That's what it said. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's all it takes to be guilty of inciting violence today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so he is one and the same here. And so you'll still be conversing with the pun master. So glad to still have him on Twitter. And hopefully, from here on out, he doesn't have any problems. At least I'm trying to put that positive light out there. So yeah. And then so we do have Seth. There you are. Hey, how you doing? I don't think I've seen you on my channel before. So welcome. And if you're not familiar with my channel's platform, we basically discuss George Lucas era of Star Wars, and that includes the movies, the comics, the novels, games, what have you, before the buyout. So any of the lore that was created through George Lucas and his company before the buyout. So I am glad you are here. Let's see here. And not very British from your part, or not very, very British from your part, Kenobi. So that's what
Well,
he's saying.
I'm not British. I'm Scandinavian.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to do what I want.
Oh, he's Scottish. And then he says, never mind. He's like, I just don't know. Yeah, I just don't know. So one of the most important questions I like to ask before we get started is what's in your mug? So what beverage are you enjoying this morning as we are sitting here in coffee chat? Myself, I'm not on screen today. I decided not to do my face up this morning, and I'm still a bit bedheadish, kind of. My hair's not fixed or anything. So I decided not to put you guys through that and expose myself to you. So I am drinking, I guess it might be Folgers. I didn't make the coffee this morning, so it was already pre-made when I got it. So I think it's Folgers with a little bit of cream and sugar. That's it. That's simple and sweet here. And what are you enjoying, Stig?
Some cheap soda thing.
Some cheap soda thing. Well, I hope
Yep.
you're enjoying their cheap soda thing.
Also, you have an echo.
Oh, fun times. Let me see here. How am I now?
I don't know.
Am I echo?
It's gone.
Okay, my mic might be too close. Was too close to the laptop, so
Yeah,
that
I
can happen.
hear myself in the background.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeehaw! You know, sometimes shit happens. You know. All right, Schweppes pomegranate. Or Schweppes pomegranates.
Yeah, Schweppes. That's
Schweppes.
do you have that over there?
I don't drink any soda products anymore, so I don't know any names anymore other than, you know, the major ones. So we probably do. Hey Jamie. Hey everyone, finally able to join again after 12 weeks. Woo, I'm so glad you're here and I'm happy to be here. I was going to cancel again so that I can just concentrate on finishing up my finals. Then I was like, what the heck? Might as well just have some fun with you guys, go over the comics and just give myself a break. Small little break before I, you know, finished up these finals. So here we are, and I'm glad I did. I am very happy. Ho, ho, ho. Happy holidays, Santa Megatron. Why, thank you so much, darling, and happy holidays to you. I hope that your holiday season is going well. And if you spend it with family, that you have, you make some memorable moments. So, all right. Razvan, it was a ghost echo. It was echo bass. And Miss Martin Muses, hello, darling. I'm so glad you are here. And simple Schweppes is toxic or tonic water and has electrolytes. Okay, yeah, I think one of my cousins drank tonic water, probably that one. You know, when we powwow and dance and stuff. So, you know, quinine, yeah. So let's see here. And thank you so much, Abu Nas, for the $20 super chat. I appreciate all your support. Thank you so much. Sending love to you as always. Hope you have a kick-ass show. I'll listen as much as I can as I am shoveling snow still. I have nothing in my cup, but I'll have hot cocoa when I'm done. Thank you for keeping it real on all levels. And thank you so much again for the super chat. And yes, that's a workout in itself, shoveling snow.
It's ironic though, because I'm in Norway and it's actually pretty warm.
Really?
So, no snow or anything.
And you're like in a higher, like in, you know, you're in a higher elevation, I guess you could say, or
no,
not elevation, but you're more northern than we are.
Oh yeah, way more. But
yeah.
Still no. We had snow for like a couple of days in late October, but haven't seen any since.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I don't know. I don't know if you want any or any wishes for snow or not. So I don't know.
I don't care.
You don't care. Okay. And then Razvan, and it glows under UV light. Yes, healthy and trippy. Yes, it is. Really good for muscle for your muscles recovery from activity and stuff as well. The quinine. Yeah. All right, Santa Megatron. Drinking a Coke and eating a Toblerone. For my breakfast. Wow, that's quite a breakfast. So, and then I'll be spending my Christmas with all my Decepticons. Awesome. Let's see here. And Miss Martin uses peppermint coffee. Oh, that sounds so good.
It sounds completely fucked up.
No, it's not fucked up. It is not fucked up. Let's see here. The North Atlantic current is warm. Therefore, Norway. Let's see here. And he has a smile here. So let's go ahead and check out this comic here. I'm so excited about this. We have first and foremost Aura Singh is in there, but we do have Aayla Secura here. And of course, we see her in the movies, but her story is really, really well done in the EU. In fact, wasn't it George Lucas that brought her from the EU into the movies?
Yeah.
Yep. So let's go ahead.
He did it with Barris and Luminora too.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So
And
here we go.
Quinlan Voss, he's mentioned in episode 3.
Yeah.
He's also EU,
Mm-hmm.
so just mentioned him.
Yeah. Which is amazing. All right. So let's get started here. So we do have right here, we have, was it Quinlan? He sent a message out to a holocron message out to Aayla. Aayla, by now you have heard I've gone over to the Confederacy. I know what I'm doing. I've made my choice. This is who I am now. So he's sending her a message, and then she's recalling being recruited as a Jedi. Quinlan brings her in, and they're talking here, and they're talking, and he's like telling her, like, what's your name? You know who you are? And she's like, I think I'm a Twi'lek. I'm kind of confused here. He goes, well, no, you're my Padawan learner. So this is where she finds out she is a little flashback of her becoming his Padawan. And then we go into he tells her follow her own path and forget about him. And we already know, if you've been following the comics with us, is that they have a deep relationship with saving each other from the dark side and stuff, or they are. So she has that message, and she's very, very confused. And what do you think about this, Stig? Do you remember this part here? Do you have anything you want to say before I move on?
Well, Quinlan is going deeper and deeper undercover, and he's starting to get a bit messed up.
Yeah.
And we saw in the last one that the older human in the background, Thom, and Mace Windu, basically are pushing Quinlan to do this, and they're doing some shady shit that Quinlan doesn't even know about. Yeah. And Yoda didn't approve much of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Yoda was the one that's like, are we sure we're making the right decision? And so that was a previous comic. And they're like, yes, we are. So we need to do something. And so we have it here. And she's like questioning it. And they're like, forget about him. He has his orders, then you have your orders. And she's not really liking it at all. And then we have Kit Fisto over here that basically, I guess, he can sense what's going on in her, what's going on with her. So he asks her, and she's like, it's fine now. It's over and done with, kind of deal. And then we have this right here. And what I find so crazy, if you follow me on Twitter, I did repost the scene here about about this right here. This is basically a gravity well projector that pulls, people traveling in hyperspace out of hyperspace into real space. And so I always bring this up because we watch, or if you've watched the sequel trilogy, or you're privy to this, they're having everything that has to do with hyperspace and going in and out of hyperspace in gravity wells, which breaks continuity to a lot of things in Star Wars, especially A New Hope. So I just wanted to point that out again.
Yeah, Han Solo pretty much spells it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
exactly.
Yeah, and Filoni did this too in the Clone Wars, and I think also in Rebels. So the sequel trilogy wasn't the first ones to do this, and it's happened in the Mandalorian too, I think.
Yeah, it did.
So
happened in the Mandalorian. It happened in the Clone Wars, where I think I remember, and I also was someone was remembering it too, that they were on the edge of that gravity well and bounced out into hyperspace, which still makes you question it as well. But Rebels, it was done as well.
So we have a Soul Assassin in the chat too. Wants us to zoom in on stuff today.
Okay. All right. You kind of sounded very happy that he showed up.
Well, he's a likable fellow.
Yeah. He is. And so they're going to what is that? They're going to the Deveronian planet. Deveron, I think it's called. Did I say that right? So they're on their way there, and we have Kit, we have Aayla, we have Thom, we have Sa'a, and we have the dark woman. they're all in this together to locate a pirate's base, I guess you could say. So, and then of course here is Sa'a right here, and she's a Jedi, and she is chatting with one of the senators from the Deveronian planet, Deveron, and they're discussing what's going on there about the how. Let me see here. I'm trying to remember what the discussion is about, basically. Yeah, they're discussing about that pirate's base that's causing problems and stuff. And as they're discussing, the senator gets shot in the head.
Yeah. Quite so.
Quite so. Yeah. And this is the shooter. Dun dun dun. Aura
Singh, who's been missing in action for quite a while.
Yep. And so she does what she's told, and she's talking to someone on the comm, and she's like, you shot her during the wrong time. And she goes, well, you should have hired me like earlier so I could have done it at the perfect time, basically. So she's talking back, she's sassing back to the person that hired her. And they're like, well, Jedi was watching her and was talking to her when that happened. So now we're going to have Jedi come and interfere. And she goes like, good, I have Jedi to kill. You really don't have to pay me much to kill them. I'll almost do it for free. So, perfect Aura Singh mannerism right there. So, and then we have.
Hello there.
Yeah. You want to go ahead and talk about this one then, since you're very, very into this.
Well, we have Aayla Secura and Thulm talking about how they need to, start investigating, and then there's plot happening on the Deveronian planets.
Yep. Yep. And so she's in here undercover as a, I guess say a well-do Twi'lek kind of person here, and of course, very. Sensual and very materialistic. She's talking about like, whatever they're talking about, the money wants to shop. She wants to do this and that. And she's basically undercover at the senator's house, at the senator's place, and trying to spy and get information for where that base is at and what's going on and with that sector. And then we have this scene here where it has these images here, and of course it tells what's a description of them, identity, Tu'ula, on Onetta, and so it just basically has a description of everybody on screen here. And
they're being picked up by the surveillance thing.
Yeah.
And Aura Singh is basically snooping on the surveillance cameras.
Exactly. And
identifying them one by one.
And she's like, and then she recognizes her master.
Yeah.
So she's like, what the hell? And so from there, we get into they're basically in their own room. Huh?
If she tries to bait the dark woman into a fight, that means she's a master baiter.
Oh my goodness. All right. Did you guys hear that? All right. I know you guys probably missed all of this from last week, the fun that we have in here. All right. So I can't see any chat right now. I'm fully looking at the comic screen. So you guys, I'm pretty sure you guys are enjoying this. All right. So they were sent to their own little living space here. And of course, Aayla still plays the part, and she throws this little statuesque kind of head towards the Dark Lady. And she's like, basically saying that, you're too well into your little undercover persona here, basically. And then she discusses how, her how it's easy for her as a Twi'lek to go and be the slave girl or be the pampered princess or what have you. And that her brain cells or her lakus basically store deep memory that help Twi'leks out in a sense. And then Quinlan's like, if you don't stop acting this way, you're clouded by wanting to find Voss and help Voss, and you're going to hinder this mission if you keep thinking about him, basically, is what he's telling her. So,
yeah, basically focus on the mission.
Exactly. And then so we have Aura and them, and they're talking with Kit Fisto here, and they're discussing the mission as well. And the Dark Lady right here. So we don't have her much in her cloak as we've been seeing her. So now she doesn't have her cloak on. So you could see basically her full body, what she really, really looks like. And Stig and I was just talking about how old she is and how well she is holding up, basically.
Yeah.
So we thought that was interesting as well. And
yeah, I noticed a couple of things about her, and I was like, she keeps herself well.
Yep.
Yep.
And then we go in here and we find out that the senator lady here is the one that hired Aura Singh to shoot the other head honcho of the planet, basically. And I didn't write down names. I'm so freaking sorry, you guys. But so she hired her, and then basically Aura Singh tells her those people that came in that you're housing are not who you think they are. They're really Jedi. and then from there she goes, well, aren't you a Jedi as well? Or didn't you train as a Jedi? And she goes, yes, I learned their art, kind of deal. And she's like telling her to be weary and stuff. And she also talks about the Anazati, which goes into the next comic, which I thought that was really, really neat when it comes to Quinlan and Voss. So
yeah, they've been they showed up quite a few comics ago, but we covered it.
Yeah, exactly. But it also goes into what we're going to read next. And I don't want to give any spoilers, especially if you haven't read it yet. It's very exciting. All right. So these comics are kind of dark here, especially the next one, very dark. And very, very interesting as well. And we have her basically holding a blade up to her neck right here. And she's basically says, I don't care. I'm killing, because she tells her to leave the Jedi alone, keep to the mission that I want you to do. And she's like, I don't care. I'm killing the Jedi. How you deal with that is up to you. You play me false and you will die with them. That's
she's basically starting to, her Jedi hatred is starting to take over again.
Yes, exactly. And then I forgot to mention in the last page, her antenna was put in her head by the Anzati so that she can feel or taste the fear, basically, of people or of Jedi or people that she's going to kill. So because she's not an Anzati, but she could still basically be able to taste the fear and stuff.
Yeah, it has to do with the antenna.
Yep.
It's the antenna sticking out of her head.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of a little bit of backstory behind that with her antenna in her head. So, which is kind of weird, but kind of crazy, cool, whatever, because it helps her feed in and crave that fear of killing Jedi.
Yeah, and we have Chris Knight is in the chat as well. Hello, Chris.
Oh, nice. Let me go real quick to the chat. Let me see. Did I get any more super chats or anything? No? Okay. No. That's okay. Let's see here. Awesome. I have 22 of you guys watching. Please press the like button and share this on Twitter so people can come in and enjoy our conversation. That guy says, Stig, never change. Awesome. Yes, we love you, Stig. We love what you contribute to Coffee Chat.
It's too late to change now.
It's too late to change now. All right. So basically she's threatened. She me see here. She comes on here with another senator. Bring her with you to my chambers. We will share a shamar. I cannot. I'm bad at some of these names sometimes. I delight to doubt. A delight, no doubt. So basically, what's going on is that we have Aura Singh right here, and she's with the rest, some higher ups here, entertaining and stuff.
No, Aayla Secura, not Aura Singh.
I'm sorry, I keep on friggin' saying Aura Singh. It's Aayla. Yes.
Compose yourself, woman.
Sorry, I just love Aura Singh too. She's amazing. All right. But I apologize. So we have Aayla. Stig's like, get your shit right, woman. She's right in front of you. That's Aayla. All right. So we have them, and she basically is trying to get information because she's undercover. She doesn't know that her cover was blown yet by Aura Singh. And so we have this Deveronian guy that she goes and takes advantage of, and me and Stig were debating on what really happened in the scenario. But basically, she uses a mind trick to make him fall asleep. But she also lures him away because he is very intrigued with her, and she's going to use her Twi'lek abilities to get information from him. Yeah.
By Twi'lek abilities, it means tits. And he wants that and goes after her, and he doesn't know that she can use the Force, so she puts him to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And see if she gets the information from him.
Yeah, exactly. And so we see him laying on the ground after, and so we have to assume that she got some information from him. So
no, she got she took his basically his cell phone, whatever, didn't she?
His comm link or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I couldn't make out what it was, but it looks like she does have something in her hand right there, huh? Let's see here. Yeah, and then she gets a hold of Thome because at the time frame, in this time frame, she didn't keep her comm link on because that would blow her cover. And they finally get a hold of her, and Dark Lady and Thome was like, "We were trying to get a hold of you, blah blah blah." And she's like, "Sorry, I just couldn't do that right now." And so we have the Dark Lady here, and this is what Stig pointed out to me on how the Dark Lady keeps up her appearance.
Yeah, can you zoom in that for Soul Assassin so he knows what we're talking about?
I will try. Let's see here. I have to scroll down too, because I still got to get a mouse for this. So here we go. So Stig, go ahead and talk about what you were telling me.
Yeah. This is not a wonder bra or anything, because you can tell she's not wearing that. So this is complete firmness, and she's actually not wearing a bra at all, I think. So this is a fitness lifestyle and healthy eating. She probably eats the correct porridge every morning. Yes, if you do that and you're a female, that's what happens to your chest.
And this is Stig's theory right here.
Yeah, and Soul Assassin agrees. She's hot as hell.
Whoopsie, I lost the page. Okay, where are we at? Okay. I don't know why sometimes it does that. We're going to go back.
You're using that stupid mouse pad.
I know I'm using the stupid mouse pad. Let's see here. There we go. Next one here. So they're going to go, Aayla basically, they're on standby to figure out, or go and penetrate the pirate base there on Deveron. And Aayla and the senator, or the lady, talk. And I wish I would have got her name. But anyways.
The Dark Woman and Thome are going to investigate the location Aayla discovered.
Exactly.
Where the pirates or whatever is supposedly hanging out.
Yeah.
And Aayla goes to confront the senator, who, well, Aayla knows that the senator is corrupt-ish.
Yeah. Exactly. And so she gets discovered. So the lady here, she's like, open the door, and she's like, I'm kind of busy here. And she's like, I'm not decent or anything. And she's like, I know who you are. I know you're a Jedi kind of deal. And I want you to check out this place for me. And so she is, like I was saying, this lady here, this Deveronian lady, she's burning her candles at both ends because she just got threatened by Aura Singh on, you're going to go ahead and take care of these, let me take care of these Jedi, blah, 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 blah. And then she, like I said, burns both ends with what she's working with, because she's only thinking about herself. And that's my conclusion. She's only thinking about herself, but she doesn't know what she got herself into. Let's see here. And so they go and investigate that location, and lo and behold, we have Nashta's name carved into the rock there, and find out who Nashta is. And if you haven't been following, Dark Lady trained Nashta at one point, and Nashta is
Aura Singh.
Yep, exactly. So we see the expression of the Dark Lady, and he's like, what is it? And she's like, aura. And they're like, oh shit, kind of deal. This is an oh shit. We have an explosion. So go ahead and talk about this one, Stig. I know I've been taking
she blows up the whole joint, and she's done this before. She's almost blown up who was it, Adi Gallia?
Yeah.
Aura Singh is superb at explosives, basically. Yeah, she lays traps and blows people up, and one of the lightsabers fly out. I'm not sure which it is, but it's one of their lightsabers, and she collects these.
Yep.
As trophies.
Yeah, like her and General Grievous. Yep. They collect their lightsabers. And so they're like, yeah, like Stig said, they're like trophies here. And so we have Aayla right here, and she's talking to Kit Fisto here about the location and how I think she feels that they're like something went wrong right at this time. And so she's telling Kit, let me see, Kit, I have a proposal possible location for the okay, yeah, so she tells them the possible location, and so they go to another location as well, and they kind of do that. So there we go. And then so she gets more information. She talks with the Devronian woman here, and Stig says she's force choking information from her. She's getting information from her and force choking her.
Yeah, she does. Clearly. She gets that determined look, basically, threatens her, and tells her, you will tell me the truth or whatever. And the Deveronian gags. She wouldn't gag willy-nilly. So, Aayla Secura realized sometimes in life you have to choke a bitch.
There we go. Got to choke a bitch. And so, so basically she says, then you arrange the murder, probably the same killer that attacked the other Jedi. Who is it, Senator? You will tell me. So basically, so she crosses some boundaries there as a Jedi.
Yep.
Because she is pissed. And we know it's not. We know it's not very common, but we've seen other Jedi cross those boundaries once those boundaries are, once something happens. And so here's the explosion. We have Thom and the Dark Lady pinned. And this is very, very interesting because they start talking about attachment. And this goes into, attachment that we hear in the prequel trilogy movies as well. And he basically announces who the Dark Woman is here. He knows her as Anya. And she's like, that name basically has no meaning to me. And, I'm referring to, Darth Vader saying about Anakin. But in her way, she's like, I decided not to use that name anymore. And basically, I want to connect to the Force. So I gave up the name. I want to be just one with the Force or with the Force, blah, blah, blah. And he's telling her that because she did that, that she is disconnecting from the Force, and people that she works with as well as herself. So, so that's very, very interesting. And then, so we have Aayla going to the rescue. And again, she gets shot down as well.
Yeah, I think Or a Singh fires at a yeah, she hits the fuel tank or something on that suit
Yeah,
bike.
yeah, she does. She hits the field tank. And let me see here. I thought there was a picture of her. I know this one right here shows her weapon here. I thought there was a better picture of her, probably the next one. And then, so she survives, of course. She leaps, she kind of gets thrown off from the explosion and survives and stuff. And then she comes up to another bomb.
Yeah, thermal detonator.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And
And
then,
by being she basically uses the force to dodge.
mm-hmm. Yeah, so she's basically, harnessing the force as well, and it's helping her survive through these like series of events. It's like she's like on this mission and she's like hitting these traps here and there and everywhere and surviving and making it through, kind of deal. And
Yeah, and then there's a showdown about to happen. You get a chick
jump
fight,
on.
chick
Yep.
fight in the river, and it's gonna be like wet and it's gonna,
So here we go.
See, I
And
told you. She gets the river on her.
it's just how you said that. It's funny. Oh, goodness gracious. All right.
Yeah.
So yes, Stig even
Yeah,
said this
she
was
gets,
like a cat fight. There's going to be a cat fight kind of deal.
yeah. Gonna be a cat fight, people, with the cleavage ladies.
The cleavage ladies, the Clevengers.
Yeah.
All right. And then we have Kit and his crew penetrating the base that they're looking for. So they successfully get in, and we have Sa'a here. We have Kit. They find the location as well. So we're going back over here, and this is the conversation. So I kind of spoke ahead of the pages or whatever, but this is the actual conversation about the attachment kind of deal. And
yeah. They're injured in the cave, or rather in the rubble, and they're realizing, hey, we might die.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And she goes, all of us have darkness within us to contend with. As Jedi, we master it, but none of us, I think, ever escape it totally. And some, like Aura seeing, it consumes as they embrace it. Perhaps if she and I connected, so they're talking about the attachment thing. And he's like, and he even tells her that because she attached herself totally, how could she expect Aura to, connect with other people? So basically it was her fault on how Aura's thing turned out because of her perspective of attachments.
Yeah, they're basically approaching it from the opposite angle, where maybe detachment was what caused her to go to the dark side rather than attachment.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically, she didn't get hugged enough.
Yeah, she didn't get hugged enough or felt special enough, I guess, or what have you. And then, so we have, Aura did get knocked out from the fight here, or not Aura, there I go again, Aayla. And so now she's remembering some training with Quinlan Vos, because again, that's still on her mind, is wanting to know what's going on with her master and stuff. And so she's recalling everything and learning some lessons that Yoda has taught them as well. And so I thought this was a pretty cool flashback, because we really don't get too much of a master Padawan kind of training, and not very often. And so her flashback right here is very fun. So if you haven't got this comic yet, I would say go grab it and read. It really has some great details in here. Do you want to say anything, Stig?
No, it's just Aayla Secura background with Quinlan Vos, showcasing how much Quinlan means to Aayla.
Yeah.
And exactly. This is the opposite of the relationship between the Dark Woman and Aura Singh.
Exactly.
Because they have detachment. Aayla Secura and Vos have attachment.
Yeah.
So it's mirroring.
Good call. All right. And so she's coming to here, and basically Aura sings like, you know, the Korra is gonna go ahead and friggin' eat you. You're now, you know, dog food or whatever they are.
Yeah.
So
And
so she's surrounded
Aayla
here.
is remembering training, and she decides to, still her mind and
Mm-hmm.
trust the Force, basically.
Yeah.
And this is
Exactly.
important because this is also mirroring. It's a bit like Anakin versus Kenobi,
Mm-hmm.
because Kenobi is calm and collected. Anakin is full of, he's reactive, you know,
Yeah.
full of emotions and stuff, and that's what Aura Singh is.
Yeah.
She
She's
uses
able.
rage, and Aayla Secura does the opposite,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
which
And yes,
we know from earlier comics that she had learned the hard way.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
exactly.
good writing by Dark Horse Comics.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and so right here, she basically hides herself in the Force, and we do see that in the lore as well. She's calm, cool, collected. She hides herself, and she's able to get by, which stuns or the hell out of Orsing. So you could tell by her expression and everything here. So I thought this was, you know, very well played. We're very well written as well. And they talk about down here, we have Kit Fisto and Sa'a talking about Master Thom and Dark Woman. I guess
Yeah,
they realize
because they're not at the location they are.
exactly they're supposed to all be at the same location. They're not because there was a trap set up.
Yeah.
So, and then we go back and let's see here. They are
That's
remembering.
one cool outfit, or Aayla Secura is wearing, though.
Yes.
It looks a bit like one of the outfits you can wear if when you play Jedi Academy, you can create your own Jaden Core,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the option is female Twi'lek, which is the best option, and you
Mm-hmm.
could put on an outfit kind of like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's remembering back to a conversation, and this goes back to the brain cells of the Lakus storing deep memory and how it helps Twi'leks remember sense of identity. And so she's playing this as, yes, I can remember back, you know, my deep memory of who I am as a Twi'lek and what have you, my culture, whatever. But I also am a Jedi, so I can use both sides to benefit me. So this is a very lore kind of like pause here when it deals with Twi'leks. I thought it was very interesting as well. So, all right, and so she remembers that, and so basically from then on there, she gets back into the fight with Aura Singh, and again, they're still in the river. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
and
it's
it's very
full on. Aura Singh fights more brutally.
yeah,
Aayla Secura is more graceful, because Aayla Secura has a dancer background.
yes,
Aura Singh is more like a thug.
she has street fighting background basically, and Aura Singh has this graceful dancer background. So you see the difference, and it also does not benefit sometimes because Aayla does get a kick in her back.
Yeah.
So this is a very fun one here, you know, with action between the two ladies here. But she does she does compose herself, and they continue the fight right here. And this right here, I love this picture of the two right here. She's like, die. She wants her to die. So
yeah, instead of what you see in the sequel trilogy where they're just trying to hit each other's lightsabers.
yeah, bad at each other.
Yeah.
They're playing ball. And then here we go. So we do have force abilities going on here, and she does throw some rocks and pebbles at her face, and so that was very fun because we not only see the saber fight, but we also see force abilities going on as well.
Yeah,
so that was
they're
good.
going all at it.
They are, and then we have the two here. They're conversing. And let me see here. We are being used. Thom Aura exploits Aayla secure connection to you. Oh yeah, so they're discussing some deep thoughts and stuff here as well because there's nothing they can do. They're pinned down. So
Yeah, and like we learned earlier, Aura Singh feeds off fear and pain,
yes,
and she's trying to induce that into Ayla.
exactly. Because she wants to feel that before she kills, because it's addictive for her.
Yeah.
So, and she senses it through the antenna in her head that's implanted in her head. Basically, is very sensitive to that, and she's like, it's like
Which
a
is
craving for her.
marvelously cheesy. I
Yes,
mean, she has an antenna and she's basically a crazy sex killer thing.
thing. Yep, thing. So we have her have the high ground, but she throws some more rocks at her, I think, or something. That's what it looks like. Um, and they're still going at it. Basically, Aayla overcomes her having the high ground here. And oh yeah, and she's telling, oh yeah, okay, there we go. And she's also telling her, I'm feeling abandonment. So she's getting into the psyche of Aura. And it goes back to the detachment attachment. And then she goes,
Yeah,
I
so
was betrayed.
she's turning it around on her. And Rasman in the chat makes a good point. He's saying Ayla is what Aura might have become, and vice
Yeah.
versa.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Exactly.
spot on. It's the whole story is very Anakin and Kenobi ish.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
about mirroring and
Yeah. Yeah. It's showing different aspects and approach to this attachment, detachment kind of deal for Jedi and what can happen with it. And again, like I said, these are worth reading to really get into the deep story of, what we see in the PT without having to rehash, the main characters from there as well.
yeah, this is what the Clone Wars was intended to be because it's war. It's not supposed
Yeah.
to be goofy.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be the teenage girl versus the Roger droids for
Yeah.
18 hours.
You got that right, sir. You got that right. So she digs in deep into the psyche, which basically gets to Aura Singh, and she reflects some, looks like a blaster bolts or something towards her, and gets her in the arm and injures her arm, as we could tell right here. So very, very fun fight to read about right here. And they have their blades locked up on each other, basically, up on each other and stuff. And we do see an elbow going into Ayla's face as well. So this is friggin' brutal right here. They're like
Oh
no
yeah,
bar right here.
yeah. Oh, you have a super chat from Demogeni.
Oh wow. Okay, $2 super chat. Hello, my fellow pimp. Why, hello, Demogeni, and thank you for hopping in. You just hopped in for at the right time. Some Aayla and Aura Singh action going on here.
Yeah,
So thank you so much for that. So yeah, so we have both of them getting the best of each other, getting stuff in on each other, like an elbow to the face and some blaster to the arm kind of deal. So
yeah. They both have taken quite a few hits. There's
yes.
Ayla scoring one, a flying kick to her face,
Mm-hmm.
followed by a very brutal kick to her back, lower back, really.
Yep. And she is like down in the water. You could tell there's a waterfall in the back here. I mean, this is like crazy. This is almost like the equivalent of like women wrestling in like a mud or a little pool or whatever.
It's more like what was it called? MMA.
Yeah, MMA. Yes, there we go.
Yeah, because this is bloody.
Yeah, this is bloody. It's not as calm as what I just described, but I'm just saying,
No.
where they're
No, this
wet,
is,
they're slippery, they're fighting. Yeah. And it's brutal. We have no holds bar between two women, which, as a woman, yes, that's brutal. We could be bitches to each other. So
yeah, this isn't hair pulling and pillow fighting.
no, this is not. This is full on like I'm gonna kill you kind of deal.
Yeah.
You know. So there we go. All right. And so again, so we have here, you're not unique, you are alone. So she's still using the psyche on Aura Singh. And we already know, like, using psychological banter really is a Jedi strength if they can use it right. We learned that with Luke Skywalker as well.
Yeah, she's basically using the tactic Palpatine tried to use against Luke.
Exactly.
But from the opposite angle. And Aura Singh is starting to lose it.
Yeah.
Aayla force slams her into the waterfall wrist, basically, and then cuts her cheek, marking her with a scar, and then cuts off her antenna, which is pretty much what's feeding her negative dark side energy in a sense, and then kicks the shit out of her.
Exactly. She used psychological, I guess you could say, warfare as well against her, which really gets to her, because if she wasn't doing that, do you really think that she could have got that close to Aura Singh? Do you think that she would have that advantage towards Aura Singh, Stig, if she didn't use that type of banter on her?
No.
Yeah. So she really
was this is like a Rocky comeback,
Yeah. And then so we have the savior coming in to get Thom and Anya out. So basically, I love this picture here because it's like, oh, we come to save you kind of deal, and it's and they're like, wow, they're dead. We're not picking up on any life within them. And she's like, no, they put themselves in a trance basically to make themselves seem dead, and to preserve their lives basically. And we know between Thom and Sa'a, there's something going on here, the way that they've always been with each other.
Yeah, they have a connection thing.
Yes, they do.
He's he wants to sleep with a plant, okay?
He wants to be a gardener.
Yeah.
He wants to prune her weeds.
Yeah, he wants her to root his trunk.
Yeah, and I think because I am going to do a series on the Jedi that survived Order 66, because people are like using that as evidence of saying, well, to kind of like stick up for what Disney Star Wars is doing with some of their characters surviving through the OT. And they're like sharing all this information, like this Jedi was here alive after, and this one, blah, blah, blah. But when you go and look and research these Jedi, they all either disappeared somehow, gave up on the Jedi way, or died, or were NPC players for games, which leaves the OT still cleared for Luke to be the last Jedi, or the last Jedi, that, Yoda told him that he was.
Yes, so, most of them that escaped weren't even full-blown Jedi. They were just barely Padawans. They managed to hide. They tossed their lightsabers away, ran off, and lived as farmers for the rest of their lives somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, though, that the people ripping into George Lucas and the EU are people in the Phantom Menace, who also keeps telling us, yeah, don't support Disney. I'm like, okay, we'll not support Disney. So why are you also ripping into the EU then?
Yeah, it's a crazy time right now.
It's like burning the fuse at both ends.
Yeah, and this all started just happening with The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Since it came out. But my point was here is Sa'a, after Thom died, she basically planted or rooted herself over his grave and stayed there for a very, very, very long time.
Well, he's not dead yet.
No, not here, but I'm saying eventually, because someone said, oh, well, Sa'a survived through the OT, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well,
by turning into a tree.
Yeah, she planted herself out of mourning for him after he died, because they live a long time. Her species live very long. And so she did. She rooted herself in mourning. And then that's why you see her in Legacy. So
Yeah.
there's a little bit of history there. So let's move on.
I mean,
All right.
what's Vader gonna do? Look for a tree?
Exactly. She put herself out of the fight. She was no longer a Jedi during the time.
Yeah.
So, and that's the point, is the everybody who survived, gave up the way, had families, disappeared completely, threw their lightsabers away, were NPC players for a game that no longer exists, that they were just for the game. So There we go. All right. So we have, and so I was a bit confused on this one, but they did capture Aura Singh. And she's going to she's going to get locked up basically. And she's basically, this is kind of like in remembrance of Attack of the Clones, where Obi-Wan is captured and put into the Force beam. So we see this here. But then they're telling her, do you want to go into Bacta? Do you want to have your wounds healed and stuff? But they're talking as if this person here is going to free her. So that's what I got from this.
Eventually, when she's needed. But Aura Singh does not have the antenna anymore.
No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. And so she is free from that in a sense, but I don't, so we'll see what comes of that. And then we have it here. They're discussing with what had happened with on Deveron and what they discovered and stuff. And they come to the conclusion that the lady here basically was doing things on her own for her own means. And so they're going to go ahead and punish her regarding the Deveronian laws. And she's like, no, she goes, please let me have old Republic or Republic, justice, basically. And so basically with them, they basically, they're basically going to take her life, basically, for, her treachery against the planet. So that was interesting. So, all right. And I think this concludes it, maybe. Oh no, we're coming up towards the end. And so we have the masters talking about talking about how they would feed her to the Korra. The Deveronian Justice basically will have them feeding her to the Korra, which is very, very brutal. And then Thome and the Dark Woman are in Bacta right now healing.
Yeah, they're actually going to feed her to the dogs.
Exactly. She's dog scraps right there.
Yep. She's dog food.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And then so we have the two recovering in Bacta. And basically says every season has its own sweetness, even the sad ones. We take what comes as a Jedi should. And so she's over there and she's remembering, her relationship with Thome and stuff, and I guess in celebration of him surviving. And she also talks about how she's seen so many Jedis come and go.
Yeah, and I think this is the fight against Aura Singh is what promotes Aayla Secura to Jedi Master.
Okay.
Because it's basically her Darth Maul fight.
Yeah. And here we have this. Okay, so this goes back to the comics when we see the Jedi and his Padawan, the Jedi and the Padawan get ambushed by Aura Singh when we first see Aura Singh. This is the young Padawan that she tells her, I can't wait to see you when you become a knight so I can kill you. Remember that, Stig?
Yep.
And so here we have it. So she's a Jedi Knight now. And she's given back her master's lightsaber. And she also explains that as she's been going through training and stuff, that she always feared and thought about Aura Singh.
Yeah, probably had nightmares.
Mm-hmm. And then they discuss about Twi'leks again, about their heritage, about what their Laku is. Always remember, never forget, and use that to your advantage, basically, what what Aayla is saying.
Yeah, you had a super sticker from Someone.
Matt G. So it's 149. It is a Dumacorn, so it's a unicorn. Thank you so much for that super sticker. Thank you, thank you. And then after she's done talking with her name, what's her name again? Or Zaina, I think that's it. Ziana. After she's done talking to Ziana, then she goes in private and she revisits Quinlan Voss talking to her about giving up on him.
Yep.
And that's the conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Let me come back to the chat here. All right. So hello, everyone. Let's see here. Hot. Wet, slippery, and fighting. Is OG a fight commentator now?
Keep in mind, she was the one who said that stuff. I didn't.
Yes, I did say it, and that's okay. Zing, man, I love these sound effects. Yes. Let's see here. Dang it, Stigs. I don't know what that one is about, but I'm pretty sure it was fun.
I have no idea.
Soul Assassin, I think Kenobi said the serving Jedi are little to no aid in the new order, in his new order.
Yeah, that was when talking about Luke. When Luke was making the new Jedi Order.
Yeah.
Because the other ones were they hadn't done shit for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And most of them had stopped their training at that time too. It was, yeah, they're out of the game big time. They.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then that's the prison's name. Uvo for prison. I don't know if I said that right. Ovo or Uvo. She's now Aura Snecked Face Seeing. Did I say that right?
Snecked Face.
There we go.
Not sure what that means.
Yeah, I don't know either. All right, and let's see here. Razvan, probably they'll feed her to the Quora beast. Yes, they did. That's why she's like, I want Republic justice. I don't want the Devronian justice.
She's gonna have a rough death.
Yeah, there we go. She is definitely gonna have a rough. And then Aayla Secura during Order 66 died. Like, come on.
Yep, shot her in the back.
Yeah, it happened so quickly she couldn't sense it, and that's what happened with some of the Jedi. It happened so quickly they couldn't sense it. And
she was that's actually explained in one of the novels or whatever it was. She gets distracted by a bird because a bird takes off. So she's unfocused at that moment, and that's when they shoot her.
Yeah. Yeah, and you could tell she wasn't, like I said, she didn't sense it. She didn't feel the shift because, there had been some distraction or whatever. And we know that it's common with Jedi to lose that connection or not fully be connected to sense something coming up sometimes. So, that's what I love about the Force is that, it's not a ex machina type thing or something that they're always attuned to or that they're always going to have or be connected to. Sometimes shit happens and you're not connected and you do something does happen that may compromise you because you're not fully connected to the Force, and that's what we see with
Felucia is pretty much a dark side nexus. The planet she died on, and there's dangers everywhere because I think that's the home planet of the Acklay. Which you see in the arena on episode 2, that spidery creature. And the place also has rancors, I believe. Later on, that's where they kill Shock T, but I'm not sure if the Force Unleashed death was the canon one. If it is, then
debate. That's the debate, is which one is the canon, the one in the novel, Revenge of the Sith, or one Forces Unleashed. That's the great debate.
I'm guessing it's the one in the novelization because that ranked higher than video games and comics and all that. So and that novel is written It's based on the video game, so
Yeah.
I'd say the novelization of Revenge of the Sith. That's the canon death.
Yeah, because Revenge of the Sith is when they met with George Lucas for that novel.
Yeah, and The Force Unleashed was designed to be over the top, which is why the Force powers are so insane.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing. The Force Unleashed is kind of semi-canon due to that.
Yeah.
Because it was just designed to be like a fun thing, and it contradicts the rest of the EU and the movies quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I think it's a bit like Dark Empire. You know, it was supposed to be a one-off thing. Because George said that they should make the Force powers over the top, just for fun gameplay.
Yeah, I remember reading about that too. So, Kevin Tino Che, hi, how are you doing, darling? OG, off topic. I have seen volumes collecting newspaper comics. Are they part of the original canon? The newspaper.
That's the Epic collection things. I think 2 of them have the newspaper strips.
Yes.
They are not canon. They're kind of part of the the old Marvel canon. The old Marvel comics from the 80s.
Yeah.
They were separate from everything. But those newspaper strips are part of that.
Yeah.
They're marvelously cheesy. They don't fit much with anything except for the fact that Lumaya's backstory is in those comics. Everything else got pretty much ignored.
Yeah, they kind of they did pull a little bit here and there out of those to make in the lore, canon lore, like Lumaya. But so there's
but they were more like homages almost. But I love them. I don't treat them as canon. I treat them as 80s Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
And I'm getting close to finishing all of them, actually. I'm on issue 80 something. And I'm having a blast. Having a blast, but don't look for much consistency in them. But they were written in the 80s just to have like Star Wars comics between the movies. And most of them are just standalone stories, right?
Yeah.
Like, the problem of the month,
Yeah.
But there's a hell of a lot of stuff in there because George gave them the information for the movies.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of the background story that we actually see in the prequels, in the prequel trilogy, is actually in those comics. Because I found something a while ago where Fen Shrisha was talking to Leia about how Palpatine rose to power through the Clone Wars as a politician.
Yeah.
So he had used the Clone Wars to grow himself, becoming the Emperor and all that. And that's straight out of the prequels. That's exactly what happens in the prequels.
Yeah.
Bail Organa was mentioned. Sith Lords were mentioned. All kinds of stuff. And so George had a plan 20 years before he made the prequels, because no way the comic writers could have guessed that, right?
Exactly.
So spot on.
Yeah. And we have Scott Johnson here. He says Lumaya is the main Marvel run, not the newspaper strips.
Yes, but the newspaper strips tie into those comics, I believe. If I'm mistaken, then sorry.
Yeah.
But they came out around the same time, so I'm assuming they're from the same canon, right?
Yeah, and it still stands that some newspaper strips did have some canosity going with the lore, but not, a lot of it was just like what ifs, fun stuff to read.
The the stuff from the 80s, the old Marvel comics treat them as separate, a separate, timeline, universe, whatever.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to get into this comic here as well, but I'm going to go ahead and, just share these last two chats before we move on. So we have Sama. So sorry, I think it might be Sama. Count Dooku from the Republic comic books was menacing and very intelligent, unlike Filoni's version, who was a loser.
Spot on, and we're gonna see that in this very comic.
Exactly. And I think a lot of characters that he had written in were very cartoonish and still broke a lot of like characteristic canon to them for the sake of being a cartoon. And I don't think I think that it just really was not well done in a sense.
You should never treat a cartoon for children as canon.
Yeah,
and stuff like this, because it creates problems. And I mean, look at Thrawn in Rebels. The guy's an idiot. He talks about art now and again, and he tries to sound intellectual. But if you look at his actions and his planning, it's like a 7-year-old planning a prank.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have Dooku here, and he does have some like force lightning coming out of his fingers and stuff. Very interesting piece of art right here, because he's like, we have a his contrast is very dark here, and the only thing that's really, really has any color and any vibrance is the force lightning. So it focuses your eyes straight towards that. And I'm talking as an artist. So so we have that, and he looks menacing here. He looks focused. He looks very intelligent.
So, yeah, and there's a reason why they picked Christopher Lee to play him, because the guy was extremely intelligent.
Exactly. He held himself in such a very awesome composure type manner. So very, very regal too. And then putting the name Count in there just plays into that as well.
That's also a little play on Christopher Lee, because he was known for playing Count Dracula.
Yes, exactly. So I thought that was a nice little touch there as well.
And he is the best Dracula.
Yes. And Stig's like, change my mind. Excuse me. All right. So Stig, go ahead and
you had Dracula movies with Count Dooku and Tarkin. Think about that.
Yeah. And look how their characters were for Star Wars. Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. And so go ahead, Stig. Go ahead and start off this one here with the scene here.
I don't remember what was going on because I read this a month and a half ago.
Because we had to, cancel or postpone a couple and stuff. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you read it yesterday, so yeah.
Okay, well, I'm still going to have you contribute here.
Yeah.
So this is the Republic.
I'll remember it as we go along for sure.
Of course, yeah. But this is the beginning of it, and we do see past Jedi that basically defected after Geonosis here. So a couple of these are from that. This is Republic troop ship VCD 987 carrying reinforcements to Drongar. We have
my little underdog Jedi, Jaisal.
Yeah, right there. You see him right there. He's the one that cooked the food, right?
No, the lady.
Oh, the lady. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah, the little one was in the Quinlan Voss thing.
Yeah. The chef. Yeah, he's a weird little dude. But yeah, so we have been intercepted by superior separatist forces. Engines no longer functioning. We are being boarded. So basically they're being taken captive by
it's actually the the exact same way the first Knights of the Old Republic game starts.
Okay. Yes, I did
Might
I
be
did start it and figure that one out. I did get, because I have opened it up and kind of like checked out the first scenes and stuff. I haven't fully played it, so yes, you're correct. So, and then here we have it, Dooku. So they're the ones that basically, capture the ship. And we do have the defect Jedi that, were they helping him or were they a part of the ship?
No, they got attacked. And,
Okay, that's what I thought.
yeah, they're basically captured at this point. And they decided to join the Jedi last time we saw them. After seeing the treachery from Dooku.
Yeah, right. And then that's when Mace was in there and they had that fight and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, so we have Giselle, and then we have Master Choi and Kai Justice. And so basically, they're talking with Dooku here. He's like, kill you, I would not do that, blah, blah, blah. He uses a lot of psychology against them as well.
Yep.
We see that.
And he has you can see Shora Bulk behind him, and what seems to be a Quarian thug.
Yeah. And then she confronts him. You were trying to kill us, and basically Mace Windu, and he goes, it's miscommunication. I certainly wanted Mace Windu dead. He was and is a legitimate military target, even though I harbor the deepest personal respect for him myself. Perhaps Master Windu assumed you were my targets as well. So he's starting to manipulate, because
and we know this is bullshit because he killed the whole moon full of Gungans. Well,
exactly.
He had a Ventress to it, but it was still on his orders.
Exactly. So this continues from those stories as well. So this is very, very good. And so they're in there confronting, and we have again, we have one of his sidekicks here, Master Bulk, or Bulk. Basically, I wouldn't call him Master anymore because he's no longer a Jedi.
He's a dark Jedi, though. So
yeah, true.
I'd say his mastery of the Force is still there.
Yeah, true. That's very true. And then so
basically, what he is if this was a video game, he would be one of the boss fights near the middle of the game.
Okay, awesome. And then we have down below, and Quinlan is talking about joining Dooku right here. So he is in communication of, talking about joining him, and he's like, please use me. I basically Voss is saying, I have seen the light, and the Jedi are wrong for what they're doing, and I want to join your cause.
Yeah, and Quinlan Voss was attacked earlier by the Jedi, and the Separatists know this.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yes. And so we have basically the discussion again about Voss being undercover and how Yoda basically didn't like the idea, but they still went along with it. And they're still doubting that should they have sent Voss or not. And Thumb's like, he is teetering on the dark side, so he'd be perfect because he'd be more believable, because Dooku's not stupid. He will sense any betrayal or faltering.
Yeah, and isn't this a flashback from when they planned it?
Yep. Excuse me, my voice is going. How fun is that? Yeah, so basically the flashback from that, and so let's go ahead and, then also his psychometry, psychometry type abilities would also play well in this, because then he can, if he can't get Dooku to verbally say something, he can touch something of his and get information.
Yeah, because he has the that skill some of his people are born with.
Yeah, the Kifu, the psychometry. Yeah. Yep. And again, we do see
that. The one that Rey got willy-nilly.
Yeah, that was stupid. There's a story and a reason why Kiffers or Kifu have this, And
Yeah.
even that
If if they wanted Ray to have it, they should have established it in the first movie, not give
mhm,
it to her willy nilly in the third, just
mhm.
because the plot needed it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So here we are. We have the flashbacks again for that as well. On sending him in, asking him if he can do this, and he's like, yes, I can. And so we have that. We're just going back, retreading a little bit here. And again, we do have the play of doubt, and is this right? Are we doing? And he talks about Shatterpoint here, and he has a big Maze has a point here. He's like, if I would have killed Dooku during Geonosis when he first came in on him, then the war may have not started.
Yeah, he's right.
Mm-hmm. And then from there, he goes, I don't see any shatter points now for this. So if we kill Dooku now, it's not going to matter. The war is still going to happen. It's still going to continue. So he plays up on his shatter point abilities and being able to see the cracks in something, whether it's a person, a being, or not. And then he also says, I do see a shadow point in this. I don't know if it deals with Quinlan or the mission. I can't tell. I can't see that much into it because we are clouded by the dark side, or we are clouded, basically. So I thought that was very interesting right there. So a little bit of Shatterpoint information about that specific talent that Mace Windu has that we hardly see any Jedi have. I think the last time we see it is in Legacy of the Force with Jason Solo, I believe. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that they say that it was last time they seen it being used was Mace Windu.
You might be right about that because it's not a common thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's what I love about the Force too, because everybody has their own skills. Some Jedi can't even harness the same abilities as another through the Force. And so I think it's very, very interesting that, everybody doesn't have the same skills and stuff.
Yeah.
So
there we have two new villains.
Yeah, go ahead.
Quinlan Vos is looking for Dooku.
Mm-hmm.
And Dooku has gotten himself some dark Jedi, including a Zabrak lady who looks awesome, and some guy who looks like a Swede.
He looks like a Swede. Yes, and we know what you feel about that. And so they come and so Voss comes in, of course, because he wants to join Dooku's cause. He's still playing his part, being undercover, saying the Jedi were wrong, and that I feel what you're wanting to do is right, kind of deal. So these two are basically coming up on him because that's what they're supposed to do, basically.
Yeah, they're literally gatekeeping.
Exactly, they're gatekeeping for Dooku.
Yeah, like you can't join the separatists because this is our club.
Mm-hmm. Can't sit here, basically, right?
Yeah, and there we see Count Dooku in the meantime talking to Quinlan Voss's aunt.
Yes, so go ahead and talk about this right here a little bit. I know we've discussed a little bit.
She has her own agenda, and she's in cahoots with the separatists, and might have been for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, Quinlan Voss is teaching the two others a bit about fighting.
Yeah, exactly. And Dooku has his own agenda for her as well, because he wants to use the prison planet as a base for the separatists.
Razvan says that dude looks like John Travolta in Battlefield Earth. Yes, he actually does.
Oh my god.
He does.
He does. Now I cannot unsee that. That's hilarious. Oh my god. Okay, let's go back.
We have a Jedi Lukey in the chat too.
All right. So
showing up.
Nice. Thank you for joining us, Jedi Lukey. Thank you so much. So yeah, so they're conversing, and there's going to be a lot more detail between her, Dooku, and Quinlan Vos as we go along in this comic. And so they're still fighting right here, and he's like, he has to earn his place, is what's going on.
Basically showing his worth, and by beating up the John Travolta and other lady.
Yes. And then so there's
you have a very good super chat. Devin is dropping a very cool bit of lore, and he's right.
Okay, let me post that.
I had forgotten about that, so thanks for reminding me.
Yes, Devin, Canadian $5. Thank you so much for the super chat and the knowledge here. And you are right, Kate Skywalker's dark transfer relied on perceiving shatter points. So we do see it after Cadus, or after Jason Solo, within the family aspect as well, because they are related, as we know. So that's very interesting. Yes, exactly. And this is why I love discussing the comics and the lore and stuff, because then you can go back and think, oh, wow, we don't see this ability until this many years later with this character.
Yeah, and this is the whole point of these chats, right? Because it's not just about you and me sitting here yapping. It's the participation of the chat as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a group thing. It's not just about us. It's about everyone in the chat too.
Exactly, and sharing the knowledge of the lore and all that.
And every time you guys correct us, it's a good thing, because in my case, a lot of the stuff I read back in when I read the New Jedi Order and stuff, it's almost 20 years ago. So I only remember the main plot points, right?
Yeah.
Because you just don't remember every damn book you read 20 years ago.
Oh yeah. And then revisiting makes it much more fun as well, because you do remember some points and stuff, and then you also discover other things once you get into it again. And so it's always fun to go back and revisit those novels if you haven't read them in a while.
Yes, and I had a talk with Open Airlock Policy.
Yeah.
And I think he's gonna make a video about this, but I mentioned that let's say you're unhappy with Disney Star Wars, right? And there's nothing Disney you like, so Star Wars is pretty much ended for you, right?
Yeah.
So if you then look at what you have about probably 1,000 comics and close to 200 novels.
Yep.
And 6 movies. And if you think about it, how long does it take you to read 1,000 comics and 200 novels? We're probably talking 5 to 10 years, right?
Yeah.
And once you've reached those 10 years, you probably won't remember the first one that well.
Yeah.
So you can just keep. I mean, there's no real difference between reading a novel again and then watching a movie again.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, we have a lot of Star Wars to enjoy, right? And and then there's the video games.
Yep.
A lot of those are very replayable.
And then collecting on top of that and getting a hold of even the young readers edition, those are fun.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. So even though Disney's fucking up Star Wars, you still have a lot of Star Wars out there.
Yeah, exactly. And then exploring characters as well. Yeah. You can take a character from a novel or a comic or whatever, and then just explore their background and get to know and have fun exploring just individual characters. There's so many, and even planets. There's atlases that you can get, and I have the atlas of the planets where you can go and learn about these planets. There's also like Jedi versus Sith, basically about the Force, and you can go and read all about the Force societies, that are not Jedi or Sith. And there's so much out there for you to enjoy. So yeah. We'll go ahead and go. Stig, go ahead and pick this up. I'm like, my throat is like very dry today, whatever. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it's basically Count Dooku calling off the dogs.
Yep.
And yeah, and all that stuff. But he wants Quinlan to prove himself, though. Also, Scott Johnson says something cool in the chat. He says there's enough content to keep busy. Also, there's role-playing games.
Yeah.
You can make your own Star Wars stories if you have a good DM to run the games.
Yeah.
You have a good group of friends. So also a thing.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have Dooku right here. He like cuts out with the conversation really quick, so Voss doesn't see it. If you've noticed that a little bit.
Oh yeah, because he's talking to his aunt.
Exactly. So I thought that was crazy because you can kind of tell he's flinging the little focusing crystal that uses to, broadcast, I guess you can say. So yeah, so that was interesting. And so they're talking right here. Those lesser skilled Jedi have earned my trust, Master Voss. You have not. So he's putting him on the chopping block here. He's like, you need to prove yourself.
Yep.
And then,
Which
first.
is also a fair point. You can't just show up and expect to be top dog.
Exactly. And so this is where Voss starts to submit to Dooku to get in, the inner circle, I guess you can say. So, yeah. And then he's like, he does and Bulk basically has a great point here. He can harness the dark side because he is taught the Vapad form, and stuff. And so he has some good point here. And then we have a recall to Jabim here. Perhaps in the meantime, what do we know about Jabim? So we have that, and we know Jabim and what happens there later on is very significant to the lore as well.
Yeah, that's coming up very soon, maybe even in the next episode.
Yeah, exactly. So and there's that
dark shit going on that planet.
Exactly, and so that's
fun thing. In the Rebellion omnibuses. You get the new Star Wars Rebellion comics, and one of the stories ties into the Jabim thing.
Yeah, again another callback.
Yes, a very good one too. Because Luke's last name gets recognized.
Oh,
let's put it that way.
Yeah,
and Luke finds out shit. My dad has done something here during the Clone Wars.
Exactly.
And he tried to fix it.
Yeah. Oh, why did it go dark?
I don't know. Vapad?
Maybe.
There's my favorite girl. The one.
Yes, we're coming up to her. I'm going to get this $5 super chat, and then you can go ahead and discuss this one right here, because this is your favorite lady right here. The one that got you into trouble on Twitter.
Yes. I was reading actually the comics we were talking about last time, I think. And I posted a picture of her because she has survived on her looks on Nar Shaddaa. Right?
Yeah.
That's what's kept her alive. So I posted a picture of her, and I said, if Disney had made this character, she would not be dressed like this. Scantily clad, right?
Yeah.
And people lost their shit.
They did too.
Because it was insane. Even people who don't like Disney got pissed, and they were like saying I was posting porno.
Yes, then that shows that they have no idea about the lore and what they're talking about.
And then they said, you just found that picture. You don't even know who she is. And I was like, well, I said which comic she was in. And I told everyone her name in the original post. Yeah. So I knew her name. I knew where she was from. It was Quinlan Voss's love interest and all that. And they tell me I don't know who she is.
I know, right? All the sake for an argument. all the sake for a friggin' argument. And then you get reposted, even though he scratches out your name and image by that shitty Star Wars take person.
Yeah, well, credit to him for that. Because that's polite, right? He clearly doesn't want people going after people,
Yeah.
and that's a good thing. But I usually go there and let him know. Yeah, I was the one who did it. I posted the porn.
Yeah, I posted the
Yeah,
porn, and then I
yeah,
caught him in a hypocrisy. He tries to make a controversy out of Stig's post, and then he goes like maybe like hours before he posts about your stuff about Colleen. He posts about Star Wars is sexy, and even George knows it. And then he
yeah,
shares like Slave Leia and other scenes, and I'm like, you're a friggin' hypocrite.
yeah. Slave Leia was wearing less than Colleen.
Yeah. All right. So we have Terminus $5 super chat. Thank you so much, darling. I beat the first Dark Forces on hard mode a few days ago. At the end, Vader said the Force is strong with Katarn. Man, talk about force shadowing.
7. I'll give you a set. Actually, you know what? It's Christmas soon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you an 8 for that pun.
Oh, he's being a little bit generous there
Yeah.
because it's Christmas.
And you know what? Since you actually beat that game, that deserves a lot of respect.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna give you a bonus points. I'm giving you a 9.
Oh, wow. You won't never probably get this again from Stig, so you better cherish that.
Yeah. See, I'm a fair-minded fellow.
Yes, he is. All right, so we have Colleen here, and guess who's breaking her out of the penitentiary? It is Thom.
Yeah.
And he wants her to go in and check on Quinlan Voss.
Yeah. Yeah, he's getting her out of the penetrationary, and yeah, setting her free.
Yep. And then here we go. So she's like, "Why are you gonna send me?" And he goes like, "Basically, I know you love him, and stuff." And so she's kind of questioning his motives as well, but he's using her love for Voss to get her to go check up on him. Basically, that's the breakdown of this.
Yeah, he wants her as a something Voss can like cling to.
Yeah,
and also someone who will report directly to Thom, right?
exactly.
So making her a little double agent.
Yep. Yep. And that's the kind of character she is, anyways. So
Yeah, but she's a very good character though.
yeah.
Sure, she's dressed provocatively and all that, but she's very much tied to the story, and she has she's even saved Voss a few times. So she's not just eye candy or whatever. She's a very good character.
Yeah. And she's even fully dressed right here because she's, in their garb for the penitentiary, basically. But once she's released, then she goes back to her normal dress attire.
Well, yeah.
So, it's raining here. Okay. All right. So let's move on. So we have Voss here, and he is communicating with Dooku, and he's touching things because they're discussing his psychometry kind of deal here. And let me see here. We need to know what Quinlan has learned, basically. So
yeah, he gets a little spoiler from his aunt while touching that thing.
Yep, exactly.
So yeah, not good.
Yeah. Not good at all. She says, I see, or he picks up, or whatever. I see how an alliance is desirable for you, Count Dooku. I don't see how it benefits me. So he basically gets the information from that holocron image when he touches it.
Yep.
So he's learning some more information on what's really going on. And this goes well into the story here on what's going to happen in the conclusion of everything. So
yeah, this one turns dark.
It does. It really, really does. And then so they start fighting. It really is appalling how badly the council has allowed dueling techniques to deteriorate. No style, no elegance, and that's Dooku to him. Come
Yeah,
along.
and this ties into the lore
Mhm.
because Count Dooku was considered to be the best lightsaber duelist in the
Mhm.
galaxy,
Yeah.
and you can see it a bit in Attack of the Clones. He wipes the floor with Obi-Wan and Kenobi.
Yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin. Well, he friggin' takes
Yeah,
Anakin.
yeah, Anakin and Kenobi.
Yeah.
He actually fucks up Kenobi twice.
Mhm. Yep. Yep. And so we have that going
And you know, and to be fair, he holds his own against Yoda as well.
on. Yeah, exactly. They have they can't best each other with force abilities. He holds his own against Yoda, and then he tricks him and he runs off. We see that. So if they were
Yeah,
to conclude that, we might see Yoda have been defeated, or a very
yeah,
very almost
because
death type draw between the two.
because Count Dooku wasn't there to kill them; he was there to get away because he had the
Mhm.
Death Star plans and all that.
Yeah,
So he needed to leave.
yeah. And
He
wasn't he
didn't have
trained by
time for
Yoda
a fight.
anyways? Wasn't Yoda his master?
Yeah,
Correct. Yeah.
Yoda had trained Dooku.
And that's why he's really good. If you think about that.
Yeah, yeah, Dooku's he is so underrated; it's insane.
Yeah.
But I blame George a bit for this because he only shows up at the end of
Yeah.
episode 2, and then he dies at the beginning of 3,
Yeah.
and then Filoni just destroys the character in the Clone Wars.
Yeah. And he tells Voss here, the dark is stronger than the light. You feel it yourself. So he's basically doing that manipulation speech towards Voss here. That's what
Yeah,
we're seeing during this duel here. Is
yeah,
that
it's basically Vader versus Luke on the Death Star,
yeah, exactly. So
and
we have
Dooku is
that.
like giving him a chance and stuff, and then it just uses the Force to wreck the guy.
Yeah. So we are here. We go to Tibrin. I guess that's how you say it. To free the Ishi Tib from the yoke of the Republic and their leader, Siri Brown 2. I guess I'm not saying that right. Who I don't know. I'm always butchering these guys.
The
So
Itchy Tib, I actually have a bunch of those miniatures, Star Wars
mhm.
miniatures. I have a few Itchy Tibs, and they have the separatist icon on them at the bottom.
Okay. Awesome. So do you remember this scenario, or do you want me to say anything, or
Yeah, you can do it.
all right. So they're over there and they talk about freeing the Ishitib, and so this is where they become part of the separatists as well and stuff. And we do have these Jedi that are like, should we join or not? So he is like collecting his own little band here. We do know that within the rule of 2 that the apprentice will try to take over on the master eventually and stuff. And so we always see the conniving, backstabbing stuff going on
Yeah,
still.
and a lot of the people joining the separatists actually have good reason to do so because the Republic is failing, right?
Yeah.
A lot
Mm-hmm.
of the smaller outskirt planets are suffering from trade deals and taxation and all kinds of crap.
Mm-hmm.
And later on, they will switch to become the rebels.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a good point here. It says Suri Bran 2 is a butcher. His people hate him. Keep him in power, and you prove there is no difference between the Confederacy and the Republic. And if he's willing to sell out the Republic, he'll sell out you. He can't be trusted. And that's Voss telling that to Dooku right there.
Yeah.
And so this leads up to their decision on getting rid of him. So he does. He beheads him. Look at that.
Yeah. And it
And then
says Snecht.
Yeah, the snacked. There we go. The snacked again. So there we go. And we does Dooku know, we later on see that Anakin takes his head off.
Yep.
So and so basically he liberates the planet, and everybody is like cheering him on after that because
Yeah.
he wants to make the Republic look bad. And so they're like, Doku liberator kind of deal. So
Yeah. He
yeah.
basically killed the person that the people consider a dictator.
Exactly. And Voss had a point, and yeah, it's Voss's at fault for this as well. But he did have a point that their leader was basically a dictator. And so after Doku beheaded him off with his head, they liberated the planet, and that's how they became under separatists as well. So there you go. But
Yeah,
Voss
and
exactly what he's supposed to do. So
yeah, and one man's hero can be another man's villain, right? So
correct.
it's very, yeah. Oh, there you need to zoom in for a Soul Assassin there.
What am I zooming in on?
Take a lot. Well, pick one of the two.
Oh, I can zoom in on Voss right here. He has no shirt.
No. No, he wanted to see Colleen.
There we go. So there's one. And I think someone said they liked her in her booty shorts.
Yeah.
So she's back in her normal attire. And she is finally meets up with Voss, and he's like, "Why are you here?" Basically, like, how'd you get free? Because he is feeling it. He is feeling bad for what had happened because he's caused it. So you could see kind of a remorseful regret going on in his without him saying much.
Yeah, and she also found him, which means she's resourceful.
Exactly. And then, she's like, I can't sneak up on you because of your Jedi. What does she call it? Your Jedi boogie senses, basically. So they have that little banter between each other, which is fun and playful still. And so she's using that as part of her communication with him and trying to, help him out, and, that familiarity that they have with each other. And then she also tells him that, he basically doesn't know how to apply his own aid and stuff. So she's basically doctoring him up as well.
Yeah, and she's letting him know that Thulm sent her, and she also tells, she's deactivated all of the bugs she found on the ship that Dooku had planted. So,
and this is
lady.
Yeah, and so this is where he's like, you're making me suspicious because you turned them on. I have to go turn him back on. So there we go. So she's playing nurse to him. She's doctoring him up. She is making sure he's okay. She's she's basically doing what Thulm wants her to do as well, is, getting in and seeing how Voss is doing and reporting back. So, and Thulm used that, how she feels about him, as part of reasoning to send her as well. So,
yeah, there's a little guilt trip thing happening, and then
yeah,
then there's some smooching in space.
Yep, they're smooching. And basically, she's like, I'm going to die of something, probably not old age. So basically, she is telling him, like, her lifestyle, she plays people. She's even used her looks to kill people, that she doesn't sleep in the same bed twice or more than twice and stuff like that. So she's kind of describing her character, which we know, in fact, that no matter what, she's attracted to Quinlan, he's attracted to her. And so they're each other's weakness, basically.
Yep.
So, and then she also says, look, I'm just one more gutter rat. What does it matter if I live or die? Who's going to care if? And then that's when he grabs her. That's the perfect moment, of a romantic scene in this dark, comic right here.
Yeah, and he's supposed to say, give me some sugar, baby. But they left that out.
They left it out. Well, I'm glad they did. And then he like steps back and he's like, I can't do this kind of deal. And, I'm a Jedi. I can't be doing this. And then she's like, well, you're just expressing how you feel, blah, blah, blah. And so he basically then shoves her away in a sense, because of his Jedi training and stuff. And again, we go with attachments. But then he also comes back with, hugging her because they have some breakthrough together. So.
Yeah, basically, it's two people in deep shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That are each other's, I guess you could say, hope, maybe.
Yeah, and even the readers realize, both of these characters can be killed in the next issue of the comic.
Yeah.
Because there's no holds barred in this comic series, right? And this was before Revenge of the Sith came out, I think.
Uh-huh.
So we didn't know Aayla Secura was going to get shot to bits.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. And then here we have it. We do have a Jedi that is captive. And
it's in the same torture device thing that they put Kenobi in.
Exactly. And this is Master Shiler, or Shiler. So basically he is torturing her, trying to get information from her. And basically she's going to end up being killed or something like that.
Yeah, she doesn't want to give up the information and she's too trained to torture. Didn't work. So,
Yep. And then we have Travolta right here. And so basically what he sends Voss on a mission to, behead. Who was it? I forgot who they were supposed to behead. Your instructions were to bring me the senator's head. Where is it? And then, basically John Travolta's like, the top knot is all was in their count. So basically he's like, he didn't obey you, count. And then, we have him, forgive me, count, forgive me. From now on, I will do everything you ask as you want it done. I swear, no more games, please, and stuff. And so basically his aide, Count Dooku's aide right here, is trying to make Voss look like he did not complete the mission as was requested. But Voss does have a good point on why he didn't.
Well, Voss had the recording, basically showed the guy begging.
Exactly.
But, the guy doesn't trust Voss, and he shouldn't.
Exactly. And he has a good point here, and this goes back to Qui-Gon. Did I disobey your orders? I guess, but I achieved your end. I asked myself, what would your old Padawan, Qui-Gon Jinn, would have done? I ignored what you said. I got what you were really after. Did I do wrong? And then basically he goes back, no, I value intelligence. You've done well, Quinlan Voss.
Yeah, and Dooku is kind of dodging the thing there too. Because he doesn't say stuff outright.
Yeah.
It could be interpreted in several ways.
Yeah. Yeah. And so they still have the master here. And she's very defeated as well.
Yeah, she's completely drained. She's probably been tortured for days or even a week.
And then he's like, we have the rest of the night to finish this, Shiler. So basically he's still going to try to get information from her. And I think that's all we see of her. So I think she does die. Yes, she does, right?
Yeah, and then they're on... it's not Bespin, is it? It's just another gas mining thing?
Yeah, that's an abandoned one on Bespin. So we're on Bespin, and the cloud or the atmosphere here, and this is abandoned Tabanagas mine as well. So it's not the Cloud City, it's one of the abandoned mines.
Yep.
So yeah. And so we do have, Thom and Colleen meeting up, from her mission and stuff. And And then we have down here, Master Windu said Dooku was no longer a shatter point in the war, and the killing him would have changed nothing. So this is what we were talking about earlier about that revelation with Shatterpoint as well. So
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. All right, and so we have the two engaging here. I think he does send her away. Forget Dooku, Quinn. Forget the Jedi. Forget. So she's basically saying, let's just move on, forget everything, and let's just live a life together. So kind of like in remembrance of Anakin and Padme, right there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, yep. And so she's reporting here, and let's move on here. So, all right. So we get to the ant scene. So we get to the meat and potatoes of this comic here and what's really, really going to happen. And so basically, they're on Kifu, the home of the Guardians, sister to the prison planet Kifix, ruled by the chief, chosen traditionally from the clan boss, in the incarnated currently in the person of Chief Tinte. So basically, Dooku wants to use the prison planet as another base for the separatists. And so they're negotiating here as well. And this is where Dooku uses Voss to his advantage. So we see that. So there's a lot of manipulation going on here. And then so she doesn't agree because she's like, the Jedi, she doesn't agree with Jedi. He used to be a Jedi. She doesn't agree with, siding with them. She feels like the galaxy can destroy itself and that her planet, her people will rise from it. And so she has the Guardians attack.
Yeah. These Guardians are actually badass. She wanted Quinlan Voss to be the main one.
Exactly. She did not agree with him going off to the Jedi. And we've known that from the start, because she even says that from the start. She didn't agree with it whatsoever. So here we go. And, he says, you are stupid. You're a stupid old woman, Tinte. You have no idea who are and what you are dealing with. And so we have Force lightning action going on here.
Yeah, he fries a bunch of them.
Exactly. He friggin' gets them in there, and of course, they succumb to it. And so we have this, the witch is mine. And I think that is the John Travolta guy that's saying that.
Yeah. And Quinlan seems to protect her. They think he's trying to save her, and well, he is. And he chops the Zabrak lady in half.
He does, right there in the bottom.
Yep. She had to split.
Yeah, she had to split. He did not want nothing to do with her. She had to split. Yeah, so he's trying to save his aunt. So he's blowing his cover for her. And then we have Dooku really saying, so your true colors are being revealed at last. And
which
then
is most likely some of his plan as well.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're getting to that as well. And let's go ahead and go forward a little bit more into the meat and potatoes of this, as I said. So he's fleeing with her and he wants to hide her. And go ahead.
Did he kill the blonde guy too?
Let me see. I didn't see.
Or did he just kill the? No, he's what the hell's going on? He's on the ground there, though.
It looks like he force pushed him down. That's what it looks like.
Yeah,
but
well, he's still. Yeah, you can see him fighting later on there.
Yeah.
So he's still alive.
Yeah, exactly. And so we have this going on. He wants to hide her. And, all right, we have a moment. You need to call out the rest of the Guardians. And in what game are you playing, Quinlan Voss? You came with Dooku. He goes, you don't get it, do you? I was working undercover and infiltrating Dooku's camp, and now I've blown my cover, basically. And she basically goes back to what she said in the beginning, in a sense. You do this for the Jedi, don't you? Do they want Kifu and Kifex too? Too well, I know the Jedi. They take, but they never give back. Kifu and Kifex are mine. And he's like, we don't have time for this. And basically she goes on and says, you must gather the clans, or he does. You must gather clans. He's coming. He knows the truth and I can't stop him. And here comes Dooku. I known the truth about the from the start, Quinlan and Voss. And so we get into him manipulating Voss to find out the truth about some issues. And so they go into a fight here. They're fighting because Quinlan wants to save his planet, his people and stuff from them, or from Dooku and his followers. So, and then he goes, never happens. I've seen what you can do. Doesn't matter. I will never join you. So he tells that to Dooku, and he goes, indeed, you have already. I need only to open your eyes. And so we go into this. So they're still fighting. Is he getting force choking him right here? Or he took his light?
Yeah. Oh yes, he's force choking the shit out of him, and he's explaining to Quinlan all kinds of stuff that Quinlan wasn't supposed to know, I think.
Yeah, like the lies of his aunt.
Yep.
And he goes, all you got to do is touch her and get the lie, and find out the truth about your aunt.
Yeah, and which means she's the antagonist.
There you go, the antagonist. And he's all, don't trust my words, trust what you see. All Kiffer have the ability to read images of the objects, none so well as you. I hear use it, read Tinte. And basically he tells him, to use the dark side to further read Tinte and what had happened.
It basically tells him to touch his own aunt.
Yeah, and so we have it here. So you want to talk about this, Stig?
Yes. This goes back to one of the first Quinlan Voss comics, where Quinlan's parents got killed by the what was it, Asante?
Yeah.
And we learned that his aunt, well, I think we see that on this next picture, but she was behind the whole damn thing, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly.
Not a good thing, because he's had childhood trauma. Yeah, and you see the aunt making the deal with the Asante, and Quinlan Voss's fear of those vampires, losing his parents, all of it was done by his aunt. She did the whole damn thing.
Exactly. And we see like all the images here of his mom. It looks like his mom is being, eaten by the Asante here. All of that right here. Very, very horrific and traumatizing for Quinlan.
Yeah, they suck their brains out.
Exactly. They suck the soup out of them, basically. And so basically he finds out why my parents, you had other relatives, why? And so basically she thought his parents were weak, her dad, her brother was weak, and she wanted Quinlan for herself. And she also says, I did this for you so you can be Sheaf later. And so he discovers the truth of it all.
Yeah, and so, his aunt is a bitch.
Exactly. And Dooku is like, I have him now, basically. Look at his smirk here, like, yeah. And it's interesting how, he found out or learned about this.
Yeah, and then he basically hands him the lightsaber, and Quinlan kills his own aunt in a full-blown rage.
Exactly.
And can you really blame him, though?
Nope. I mean, he lost everything. He lost his family. The aunt hated that her brother favored the Jedi as well. She hated that in him.
Yeah.
She states that. And so basically, everything that Quinlan is and everything that his family stood for, she destroys
Yeah.
for her own means. And then she uses it as a villain excuse. I did it for you.
Yeah. Which is
Yep.
really fucked up family.
Yeah, very fucked up aunts. We always have that one relative, right? That one relative.
I don't have any like that. No.
No, not like exactly like that, but we always have that one relative that has some kind of weird BS going on with them, you know?
Oh yeah, I have some weird relatives. For the
Yeah.
most part, they're harmless though.
Yeah, of course. I mean, not compared to this type of dynamic, but we always have that one weird relative that we're like, what are you thinking? Kind of
I
deal.
like that when he slashes her though, he snarls. He said "rawr."
Yeah, he like takes all his anger. That's like his last exhale of truth and anger and stuff. He really puts a lot of might into it and a lot of emotions into it. So that's it. And so basically, Dooku is like, you opened up to the power of the dark side with this, and which was his plan anyways. And so basically,
Johnny David is saying goodbye in the chat because it's 3 a.m.
oh wow.
He says, thank you for the 3 a.m. bedtime story. Apologize for no longer being able to support you on Twitter. See you on IG. Merry Christmas. Not sure what that is, but and it
Instagram.
says, oh, okay. And it says, may the force be with you. Love from Australia to all.
Oh, nice.
Have a good night's sleep, Johnny.
Yes, good night, and glad that we were able to give you some stories to relax to and help you relax down for sleep, for bedtime.
Don't dream about killing any ants, okay?
Yes. Please don't have any nightmares. Yeah, hopefully not. So basically this is Doku's plan of really making Voss turn. So
you know what? If someone gets pissy at me on Twitter, I'm gonna just say "rawr."
There you go. Instead of like saying like "fuck you, bitch" kind of deal.
Yeah, just say "rawr."
I like to see that happen. All right.
It will happen.
It will happen eventually. Yes.
Probably within the hour. We're probably gonna activate it.
Yeah. And so now we have Voss here. What is your will master? And so we learn now that he is with Dooku. And this kind of foreshadows him going in further, but also the dark side of it. So Voss has a very interesting story.
And it's not over yet.
No, it's not. This is just the beginning. Really.
Believe it or not, I think it's actually going to get even darker.
Exactly. And I can't wait to get through that so we could share this with you guys. So this is the end of it.
Are you having trouble finding volume 2 of this omnibus collection?
I haven't looked. Did you find it?
No, because there's a bunch of people looking for it, and they find volume 1 and 3 at a reasonable price, but volume 2 is like $80 or more.
Oh wow.
Which is weird. Why number 2, right?
Yeah, sometimes stories happen, like sometimes stories happen to be the best in the middle of the series sometimes. And maybe that's what we're seeing. I don't know.
Well, I don't know, but all of these follow the Republic comics because they're not called the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
They're called, Republic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I just say the Clone Wars because this happens within the Clone Wars timeline.
Yeah, me too. And, the omnibuses are called Clone Wars as well, but the comics themselves are called Republic.
Yeah. They are. I'll take a look, but yeah, very interesting. I will find more information and share it on Twitter. So this concludes the comic review of this one here. And the next one up, let me take a look.
I think the next one is a Yoda one, but it's kind of standalone. Oh yeah. No, you get some junky standalones once for the rest of this omnibus.
Yeah, I think that we're moving on to the second one, or volume 2, or the second one. Yeah, here's the Yoda one.
Yeah, that one's just it's a standalone thing.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's go through. There's Obi-Wan.
Yeah, it
Hello.
seems to be set further back too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's see
That's a
here.
stupid anime graphics.
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird. I don't like it.
Yeah, and it's not tied to the others very much.
Yeah.
So I don't
I know.
know.
I wouldn't
Maybe,
follow
maybe
the
we
story
just
anyway.
skip that one.
Yeah. Let's see here. Let's see here. And I think we're at the end of it, right?
Yeah,
So are we?
those are some. Yeah, that's a story about Padme, and I think it's that Paolo guy
Mm-hmm.
was like an artist that she was dating or something.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, and okay, so here we go. So this is the end of it then. Yeah. So we're going on to volume 2 of the collection now. So
Yeah.
we will I don't know what story we're going to start on yet. I have to take a look, but we'll announce that unless you have it in front of you, Steve.
No, it's in my EU shelf.
Okay. I know if you guys haven't seen, he has his shelf up and it looks marvelous. It
Yeah.
looks great.
Have
So,
a I have a big and this is a very cool thing. A Twitter friend of mine
mhm,
sent me, a very good friend, one of my best friends, sent me a popcorn bucket
mhm.
that has it's big and it has the artwork for the OT around
Oh,
it.
mhm.
Yeah, so it's the side that's currently facing out is the Empire Strikes Back part of it, but it has
Oh,
it's all around. It has the old movie things,
uh-huh.
movie artwork. So it really decorates.
Yeah, that's a nice addition to your collection. Very
Yes.
good. Very, very good. Nice little thing. Sometimes like little things like that that you don't really think about having or keeping are, also is, what sets off your collection as well, because you're not going to see those reprinted anymore or remade anymore. So
Yeah. So that
that's
was yeah, that's really cool.
yeah,
I'm taking good care of it and I'm putting it. It's gonna be on display.
awesome. Okay. Yeah. So thank you guys for coming in and participating in this coffee chat and the Clone Wars era Republic comics. And we're getting into Voss's story as well. So I can't wait to continue along the timeline of this. And most likely there will be no coffee chat next Thursday, since are reviewing the comics at least. Because for Stig, it'll be Christmas Eve, correct? It'll be Christmas
Well,
Eve for
it's
all of us.
Christmas Eve for you as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's for everybody, but it'll be Christmas morning for me, for us here in the States, or basically for me here on the West Coast. And it'll be Christmas Eve evening for Stig, where he's going to be gathering with his family.
Yeah. These coffee chats starts at 6 p.m. my
Yeah,
time. But if you think about the Aussies, they're 8 and a half hours ahead of me again.
yeah.
So,
They'll be into Christmas.
oh yeah, they'll be past midnight
Yeah, exactly.
on Christmas Day.
Yeah. And so in respect of that, and how, no matter how you celebrate, people are probably be gathering with their families, or, are celebrating whichever way they celebrate. So in honor of that, and in honor of, people, this holiday and stuff, we will probably maybe continue. And Stig and I were talking about having the next comic review on the 30th, since we do have New Year's Eve going on the following Thursday. So the 30th will continue on with the comic reviews. If I do decide to have coffee chat, it will just be a quick hello, how is your holiday season kind of, question and answer, and talk about the lore. I will announce if that's going to happen, because I will have family over as well. So we'll see. So
Yeah, simply put, on Christmas Eve, I don't want to be on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just the way it
exactly.
is.
Yeah, you wanna decompress from social media stuff. Enjoy yourself, enjoy family, enjoy the festivities. Belly up with all the nice food that's being cooked. And just relax. And I get it. I get it. So I will announce if I'm gonna have a little meet and greet for a coffee chat Christmas Eve on my ends in the morning, and or if I'm gonna go ahead and just cancel it. But the next full on coffee chat will be on Wednesday, December 30th. So there you go.
Yeah.
And, so most likely we'll take a pause again, just out of respect for the holiday season and letting everybody.
Also, on the 7th of January, we're doing the book thing.
That's
Uh,
right. Woo! Yeah.
yeah. Spectre of the Past, I think.
Yes. Spectre of the Past, the Thrawn duology.
Yeah.
And do we want to do at the same time, 3 p.m.
Oh,
my
yeah.
time?
That would be good for me because
Yep.
that's, wait a minute, 3.
3 p.m. is when we did it last time on my end, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time in the States.
Yeah, that was midnight my time. So, yeah,
Okay.
that fits really well.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. And we'll have Miss Martin Muses on with us. And I think we might have Rev Kev back. I haven't decided yet if who else we're going to have in here. So stay tuned. I will announce more. I will
Well,
also go ahead.
I know Toriel's reading it.
Okay. All right. That would be good to have her on too. So I will converse with I don't want to have a huge panel. I want enough to where we can, easily get through in our own review of it and discussing of the novel without having to have too many people on, because sometimes it makes the topics linger on, or it makes everybody linger on the same topic for a more extensive a time than needed.
Yeah. Plus, well, everyone who's watched YouTube knows that the bigger the panel, the more the noise,
Exactly.
and sometimes you can't even tell what's being said because everyone's talking over each other, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so I want this to go. Last one review went well. It was very fun. We all got to talk about certain sections of the book that we liked and we didn't like. All of that, lore connection, which I really love to talk about. Connecting how the books connect up with the rest of the lore, exactly, and all of that. So stay tuned. It is the first book of the Thrawn duology, A Spectre of the Past. So. And 3
Yeah,
p.m.
I've
on.
never read it before.
Yes.
I will be starting it as soon as I'm done with. Well, I'm halfway through one of the old Han Solo books, the Brian Daly ones. So I got
Yeah.
100 pages left there, and I have the third Corellian trilogy book left. So I'm going to read those two, and then I'm going to start The Hand of Thrawn.
Yeah. And then Soul Assassin, unless you're part of Voss family, Christmas is best with family.
Yeah.
Yes, you have a point.
He gave his aunt a vasectomy.
Oh my God. All right. Terminus OG Star Wars. So that annoys a lot of people. Annoys a lot of people. There you go. All right. So again, so if you haven't picked up the book, you still have time to read it. I did read along with the Audible. You can find the Audible unabridged full version of the book. And like I said, I read along with it. And so, yes, it's the full complete version. So that was fun for me to read along and then hear the voices as well. So if you don't have time to sit down and read the book, but you can put it on Audible, get the full unabridged version of it, and then play it in the background while you're doing dishes or wrapping presents or whatever. And I still encourage you to the book anyways. That would support the original EU if you go and purchase the book. So,
yeah, and purchase the Audible or whatever. Golden rule, though, when in doubt, get the unabridged book.
Exactly. Orange Hat reviews. When is Stig coming back to Twitter? Go ahead and answer.
Well, I have a new account now. It's called
Yes.
Stig Kenobi. The other one, and I don't know if anyone saw this, but I made a joke in reply to something Christy said about some stupid TV show
Yeah.
about some weirdo lady surviving in the wilderness or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I replied, and this was like an internal joke actually to Christy because of the skanky host stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, those skanky hosts wouldn't survive anything without their cell phones. It was, like a little joke on society, really.
Yeah.
And my Twitter got permanently banned or suspended. And it said it was because I had been inciting violence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that little jokey, harmless comment equaled inciting violence.
I don't get it. I
And
don't.
I appealed, but it's been
Mhm.
almost a week now, and there's been no reply at all.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very odd. It's very crazy, but we are happy to have you back on Twitter as well because you do share a lot of good information when it comes not only to Star Wars lore but other fantasy lore stuff. And so you are an asset to the larger community with your knowledge. And thank you so much for, coming back
Yeah.
and on Twitter with us.
Last time I got banned on Twitter, I had said that an article was retarded.
Yeah.
I got 7 days for that one, and I appealed, and it didn't work. In the same thread, Ryan Kinnell called the person a fucking retard. He didn't get anything.
I know. And that's what's crazy about that is like
And
can
the time
shoot.
before that,
Uh-huh.
there was some article, and I said that lady has to be a bimbo because it
Yeah.
was about some statement some lady had said,
Mhm.
and and Christy called the lady a dumbass and then c word.
Yeah.
I got 7 days in Twitter jail for saying the bimbo thing. Christy got 12 hours for the c word. We both appealed. It didn't work for me. Christy had her ban lifted after 3 hours.
Oh God.
So the C word is not as bad as saying bimbo.
Yeah, so the more you know,
Yep.
the more you know. And it says Twitter hates Norwegians.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It hates this one, it seems.
It's all this the white man is bad narrative.
Yeah. Well, they don't know I'm white.
I know, but that's just what I'm seeing these days. But then again, they didn't do it to Ryan, so it's weird. It's very suspicious as well. But we are glad you're back in the greater community again, being able to share, the golden nuggets of original lore of Star Wars and other fantasy lores. Stig is still recruiting me to read other, fantasy novels outside of Star Wars, and I eventually
Yeah.
will.
And by doing so, yeah, uh, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, I know I will. I know I will because I love
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
And I love the Star Wars EU and all, but a fantasy novel from one of the best fantasy writers and all that, it beats the EU. Sorry, it does.
yeah.
But I love Star Wars more probably. But still, it's the some of the best fantasy novels out there are 10 out of 10s.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and conclude this. So thank you so much for my co-pilot here, Stig Kenobi, for coming in and co-hosting Coffee Chat. Tell us where we can find you. We already talked about one place where we can find you where they're making it hard for us to follow you, but go ahead and share more information.
Well, yeah, I just have that little channel thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just upload random stuff. Sometimes I do one of those stupid top 5 lists.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and if you really like the stupid top 5 list, you
Yeah.
can now get a stupid top 5 shirt because there's a Teespring link in the latest one. And guess what happened?
What?
Miss Martin Muses bought one of my T-shirts. 2 days later, she got COVID.
Yeah, that's not very good advertisement for your shirts, darling.
No. So stay away from those things. You know. Other than that, I'm on Sporking News podcast on Mondays quite often, talking about the Game of Thrones books.
Yeah.
And on Tuesdays, more often than not, I'm on Culture Casino's channel, talking about stuff I don't know too much about. It's a lot about the cinemas and Hollywood and stuff, but I like it because Tom and Culture Casino are on it, and they know a lot more than I do about it, so I get to learn.
Yeah.
I get to ask them questions about stuff I'm wondering. So it's all good.
Yeah, I know Culture's been wanting me on his channel for a while now, so I got to get with him on that. But so again, go and subscribe to Stig Kenobi here. Check out his merch or whatever. At least support him. Find him on Twitter if you love the content that he puts out and his humor and everything.
You know, I've never asked for subs or stuff because I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not looking to be monetized or anything. So it's, you don't have to. You know,
yeah,
but
it's up to you.
I just put stuff on my channel now and again just to have stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The old retro commercials, and there's some cartoons there. All kinds of crap that I pretty much put up just to preserve them for some weird reason. But people seem to like them, so I don't know.
Yeah. Yes. And one more before we conclude here. Now, I know that I did a small video about, all the recent Star Wars announcement. And one thing that's been really, really having me think about a future show is the Kenobi one. And I want Stig to go ahead and give his opinion on that, since Kenobi obviously is his favorite character.
Oh, the Kenobi show?
Yes. Before we conclude, let's go ahead and just chat a little bit about that.
Well, episode 1 through 6 is about Anakin falling to the dark side.
Correct.
And he's the chosen one. He's supposed to destroy the Sith, but he becomes a Sith. And then through the help of Luke, he returns to the light, basically, and destroys the Sith from the inside out. He kills the main Sith and dies in the process himself, thereby fulfilling the prophecy, and the Sith are destroyed. Right? And Kenobi's job in all this is he trains Luke and he trains Anakin, and he protects Luke so Luke can help Anakin later. When Disney brought Palpatine back in the sequel trilogy, Kenobi, Anakin, and Luke became pointless because the Sith was not destroyed by Anakin. And all Anakin managed to do was to set them back 30 years or whatever it was. He didn't destroy them. So a show about Kenobi, whatever he's doing, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because it's all about Rey Palpatine now. And the sequel trilogy, there's no point in the Kenobi show because of that. Sure, it might have cool action. You get to see Ewan McGregor as Kenobi again, but the last time you saw Kenobi, played by Ewan McGregor, Kenobi wasn't pointless.
Hello, Matt Wilkins. We are concluding the show here, but he says, "OG, you still hanging out with this loser?"
It's Christmas, Wilkins. For God's sake, behave.
We are discussing just a little bit about the announcements here, and I just wanted Stig's opinion about that.
Yeah, now they're gonna have a rematch between Kenobi and Vader between episode 3 and 4. If that's not pissing on episode 4, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
because it's crystal clear that they haven't met or fought since episode 3.
Yeah. And I've noticed that in the Twitter discussions of people talking about the Obi-Wan Kenobi show that was announced, they're like, yeah, we get to see, Kaden and, Ewan, have their match, or, Obi-Wan and Anakin, Vader have their rematch and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, it doesn't do any justice for what George set up in A New Hope. And they're like, how is that? What are you talking about? Kind of deal. And I'm like, really, people? Do you not see that the last time, and realize that the last time Vader has seen Obi-Wan Kenobi, it was when they dueled on Mustafar?
Yeah, so there's a comment in the chat saying that something tells him that they're gonna make Obi-Wan Kenobi Rey's grandfather by saying old Ben Kenobi had a daughter. Actually, to be honest, if he goes on a bit of a trip, right,
Mm-hmm.
and he makes a baby, that baby could be the woman that had a baby with Palpatine's clone.
Oh God, please no.
It's stupid, but it could. It is possible, right?
Yeah.
But
see, the thing is with Kenobi, he was the Jedi. He was the one that followed the rules. He was the one that stuck to the rules. He was the one that, once he had his mind made up that he was going to accomplish it no matter what. And we do see that in the Kenobi novel, and any type of possible relationships that he had outside of like Siri Tachi and stuff, like with Annalene, he got rid of right away because his focus was basically protecting and training Luke, and also continuing with his training with Qui-Gon.
Yeah, but this is Disney Star Wars.
I know.
It doesn't make sense. But we don't know anything about Rey's mom.
Yeah, I know that. And
all we know is that she had a baby with the clone of Palpatine that didn't even look like Palpatine.
Yeah. I know. It's supposed to be a clone, and clones are supposed to look like, and he didn't have the red hair or anything like Palpatine, or she's Palpatine.
Razvan is saying Satine had a love child with Kenobi. That would be weird because she's like 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
No.
No, there was nothing there, because I'm pretty sure that if that happened, that would have been.
Oh, Satine. I thought he meant Sabine.
Oh, okay. No,
Satine. Mandalorian Antifa girl.
Yeah. No, they didn't. And I don't know. I'm not going to touch that at all. But again, too, people have been throwing that theory out since the Clone Wars. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Disney canon is so fucked up now. It's not fixable. People are going, oh yeah, they're gonna retcon the sequel trilogy. Okay, let's say they do that. Even if they retcon the events of the sequel trilogy, the fact that Force ghosts can still cause lightning to happen or hold a lightsaber, that's still possible in that universe.
Yeah.
And so is hyperspace ramming. Even though that event never happened, it's still possible in that universe, which means the Force is still messed up. And so is anything involving spaceships, really, because the hyperspace gravity thing, that's in the Clone Wars too, and Rebels, and the Mandalorian. So it's it's all they can fix is basically Luke, Han, and Leia. But what's the point in that? Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill aren't coming back to Star Wars.
Yeah.
And Carrie Fisher has passed away.
Yeah, exactly.
It also won't fix the fact that Lando seems to like to shag toasters.
Right. Yeah. So I just wanted to touch bases on that. And so we, got, a feeling of what Stig thinks about this. Again, they have They decided to scrap the EU and lore that was established for creative freedom. And yes, they have every right to. But when that creative freedom starts retconning and having issues with the 6 original movies that they still consider canon, then there's a problem.
Oh, there's a lot of problems. And just
Yeah.
wait till the High Republic crap happens.
Yeah. And then that's why we are here with my channel to preserve the legacy of what George and his company has established. And
Did
so
did you see one of the sample chapter things?
yes,
This Jedi lady was using the Force to fix her hair.
Yes, yeah, that was crazy, and it was almost like a stripper pole kind of deal. So yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, I think I did share that one as well. So for myself, and then we'll conclude here, is that I am not down and for the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. I really love Obi-Wan Kenobi's arc in the original lore. And yes, there is a children's readers series where it's called The Last of the Jedi, where Kenobi does go off Tatooine within the year that he does go into exile, only to help out some Jedi and also to cover tracks from Mos, the Polis Massa, where the twins were born, to make sure that they're not discovered. And so it makes sense in a way for that. But other than that, he's committed, and we know he's committed to the Jedi way, training, protecting Luke, and waiting for the perfect time to start training him. And so.
Oh yeah. Soul Assassin is pointing out. Yeah, that was a stripper pole moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And that writer was just. I don't think he had ever written anything before he got added to the story group. I think it was. I don't know what it was. He had like a regular job, and it had nothing to do with writing.
Yeah, exactly. And Orange Hat has a point, and I've also stated this before. She's not Palpatine's granddaughter. She's really his daughter because they are genetically identical. So there you go.
Actually, yes, that's true. Except for the fact that her dad couldn't use the Force.
Yeah, which was crazy.
She must have gotten her Force abilities from the mother's side.
Yeah.
Because bloodlines, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and now finally finish the show because I need to eat lunch and get into finishing up some of my assignments so I can start doing some final exams. Yes, I'm finishing up my semester, almost there for my degree. Woo, I'm so excited. Yeah. So my quick ending for the Kenobi series is, again, like I said, I like Kenobi's arc in the original lore. I think it's really well done. Having Vader and Kenobi in the same series, Impossible Duel, is a big, huge mistake. When you look into the original lore, we do have Rise of Darth Vader novel in the same time frame as the Kenobi novel, but they're not together.
And if you look back at the old, the 6 movies and the novels that have Kenobi in them, in the EU, Kenobi's storyline is actually perfectly done.
Yeah. Yep.
Now it isn't, because now it's pointless.
Yeah. And then how Kenobi finds out about Vader is very unique because it's discovered through a holo news kind of situation, and he freaks out, kind of deal. Not trying to give you any spoilers, but it's worth the read as well. So it's not by contact personally. And it's supposed, and that's how I feel it should be, is not through contact. That he discovers through holo news when he goes into one of the bigger cities. Like I think it was in Mos Eisley when he found that out, but at a cantina area. And yeah, and he
saw it on TV.
Yeah, because I saw it on TV, basically. Yeah, and so that's my thing. And yeah, like what you want to with Star Wars. Have fun with it and stuff. A lot of people, this is being catered to people who don't really pay attention to consistency with the lore.
And this is a thing. Every time Alora and I and others criticize The Mandalorian on Twitter, we're criticizing the writing We're not telling other people they can't watch it.
Yeah.
We never said that.
Mm-hmm.
Watch what you like. If you like The Mandalorian, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
We don't, so we're ripping into it a bit. The same thing we did with the sequel trilogy.
Exactly. And everybody has that right to talk what they like and not like about something within lore or shows or novels. And it should apply to that as well. And because I have a knowledge behind the EU, I'm not trying to shame anybody's knowledge. I'm just sharing, and I'm encouraging people to learn from me. Learn from Stig, learn from Matt Wilkins, learn from Ryan and, Raging Rhino. And he's just having a time right now as well. I mean, he's done. And then
he's upset.
Yes,
but one of my best Twitter friends that I've been on tons of streams with is Chris Knight at the Real Review 3000.
Yeah.
He likes The Last Jedi.
Oh.
So clearly, I have no problems with people liking it.
Exactly. I do have family members out.
I just personally think it's shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. So again, like what you like in there, just learn from someone's post if they're critiquing it and showing and sharing something, whether it's you think it's right or wrong. Just learn from it and create a conversation instead of getting pissed off about it.
Yeah. Terminus sent me a link. I'm going to put it in the StreamYard thing. For those of you who want to, because there's going to be a Christmas sale on GOG soon, I'm sure. And Terminus has found a mod that kind of remasters the first Jedi Knight game.
Oh, okay. I'm going to go ahead and share it. Right?
It looks a hell of a lot better. And if you click on images, well, you need to share it first.
Okay. And I do have a super chat. So Mongo's big thanks. Thank you so much, darling. Wanted to make sure that I let you both know that it is good seeing you and from you. It's always a good learning opportunity. Thanks for all the info. You're welcome. And that's what it's about. Even if you're not, knowledgeable or EU is not your thing, just be open to like, okay, well, this person knows, and maybe there may be a point. I see their thing here. I may not get into the EU, but I do see the contradictions or whatever. Make a constructive analysis from that instead of feeling insuperior, because no one's trying to make you feel that way. And as a person, and this is like my yoga speak now, no one can make you feel insuperior unless you allow it. So I'm going to leave it at that. So thank you guys so very much for tuning in Coffee Chat. If I do have Coffee Chat on Christmas Eve morning from my location, then it's just going to be something very informal. We will continue on with the review of the comics on Wednesday, December 30th. So stay tuned for that. It'll be the volume 2 of the Republic comics. And so if you haven't had a chance to purchase them or find it, then get a hold of Stig and I, and we can help you out with, finding or, reading it and stuff. And I'll leave it at that. Yeah. And, stay tuned and come join us on the 30th. So it's going to be off one day, which is fine. And we look forward to, having you guys back in chat and conversing with us and having a good time reviewing these comics. So thank you guys so very much. And may the force be with you.
Take care and be well, all of you. And have a good Christmas.
And that did not end. Why not? Hello, everybody.